Good morning, students. I am welcoming you for the new chapter called as functions. What is the advantage of this particular chapter and the concept called function? See, instead of writing bigger, lengthy programs, we can divide that program into smaller subprograms. That smaller subprograms are called as functions or modules. So let me start with the definition. A function is a named group of statements developed to solve a problem and returns a value to other functions when it is called. So, a function is a named group of statements. So, group of statements are used to write a program. So, for that group of statements, we have to name it. We have to give the name for that. Because under that name we can call it many times whenever it is necessary for the user. So it will solve a problem which is given a task to perform and returns a single value. Whenever it is called, it is going to returns a single value. So that is what the definition of a function. So I'm going to repeat the definition again. A function is a named group of statements developed to solve a subproblem and returns a value to other functions when it is called. So now we have to learn what is the advantage of learning this particular concept called functions. The first advantage, complex and lengthy programs divided into subproblems. See, if the program size is too lengthy, like thousands of lines of a program, remembering each and every concept is very difficult. Instead of writing that much lengthier program, we can write a smaller subprograms. So instead of writing 1000 lines of a program, we can write 100 lines of 10 programs, 10 subprograms. That is very easy. Remembering 100 lines is very easy than 1000. And that 100 lines can also be reduced to 10 lines program. So, if the length of a program decreases, automatically complexity is also reduced. So, that smaller programs are called functions or modules or subprograms. So, that's the first advantage. Complex and lengthy programs divided into subprograms. The second advantage, these subprograms are called as functions. As I told you, the subprogram, a module, is called as functions. The subprograms can be developed independently, compiled and tested. See, a task is given to, if a task is given to number of users, each user can do their own task. So every user can do the programs like subprograms individually, independently, and those subprograms compiled and tested also can be done independently. So each and every subprogram can be tested independently and we can call that subprogram whenever it is required for the user to make a single program, to make a single software. They can be reused in other programs also. This is another advantage. See, once we write any function, any subprogram, that subprogram can be used in many programs. Wherever it is required, whenever it is required for the user, they can make use of that subprogram. So now let's start with types of functions. Mainly there are two types of functions are there. Library function and user defined function. There are two types of functions are there. library function, we can also call it as built-in function. So either it is built-in function or library function. Second one is user defined function. These are the two types of. First we'll go for library functions or built-in functions. A standard library is a collection of predefined functions and other programming elements which are accessed through header files. See, for example, while learning something like mathematical functions, we have to go through with mat.h header file. Suppose if I need a square root, instead of writing a program there, so we can make use of a built-in function or library function under the header file called as mat.h. There if I use sqrt library function, easily we can find a solution for that. Instead of writing each and every time, if we have a built-in function, we can make use of it. So that is one such example. Or if I need to calculate power values, then also we can use POW function. Trigonometric functions like sine, cos, cosine value and all those things. To learn to perform that operations, instead of writing each and every time program, I can make use of already created program. That is what a standard library function. So a standard library is a collection of predefined functions. Functions are already created and kept it in a compiler. So whenever it is required for the user, they can make use of it. And other programming elements which are accessed through header files. See, for each and every library function, they have their own header files. By including all the header file at preprocessor directive, we can make use of these built-in functions. See, header files are the files containing standard functions that our program may use. The header file should be written within angle or angular brackets. You are already used those things in program, and its functions are included into our programs by #include preprocessor directive. So as I told you, for example, #include iostream.h, #include mat.h, #include ctype.h. Like that, we can make use of any header file to use that built-in function. User created functions, and that is the second one. So user defined function. User defined functions are subprograms to solve the problem or a part of problem, are normally referred to as a user defined function. See, a user defined function is a complete or independent program which can be called by the main program or by the other subprograms. The user defined functions are written to perform definite calculations. After performing their task, they send back and result to the calling function, calling subprogram. Dear students, I am going to explain user defined functions in a separate chapter. So now let me continue with library functions. See, in library functions, as I told you, header files are compulsory. With the help of header files with extension name .h, we can make use of these built-in functions. Header files contain standard functions that our programs may use. I'm going to start with header file stdio.h. std represents standard, io represents input output. Dot. So dot is used to separate a primary name and extension name. Here stdio is a primary name H is the extension name. A dot or a period is used to separate primary name and extension name. So standard input output functions can be used with the help of this header file. Generally, stdio.h is used in C programming. Suppose if we include iostream.h, that is in C++, object-oriented programming concept, this stdio.h automatically included in that. So generally normally it is used for C programming, that is stdio.h. Suppose if we use this header file, we can make use of clear screen option. We can make use of formatted input output statements like printf, scanf, file formatted input fscanf, file formatted output fprintf, get a character, that is getC function, get a string, gettest function, and suppose if I want to put a character on a screen, put C, output statement, unformatted output statement, put C, unformatted output statement, get C, unformatted input statement. Suppose if I want to print a string, I can make use of either printf or puts. So, and plenty of these functions are there. According to users requirement, they can make use of these built-in functions, these library functions. If I include stdio.h, all these built-in functions can be used at users requirement. So next, string.h. See, this is another header file. This particular file is used to perform the operations or strings. See, for example, suppose if I want to compare the two strings, I can make use of strcmp function. Suppose if I want to copy the contents of second string to first string, I can make use of strcpy. Suppose if I want to compare the strings by ignoring the case difference, I can make use of strcmp.i, strcmpi. Suppose if I want to find the length of a given string, strlen function is used. Like this, all these functions can be used with the header file called as string.h. Whatever the string operations we want to do, instead of writing programs separately, I can make use of these built-in functions. So I'm going to explain all these functions, whichever it is necessary for us while explaining the program. So next one, stdlib.h, standard library function. Here, standard library includes many functions like memory allocation, free space, so memory reallocation, exit, and plenty of functions are there. As I told you, whenever it is necessary for the user, we can use all these functions. It is a standard library function with the header file stdlib.h. If we include this function, this particular header file, I can make use of all these functions. Next, iostream.h. Generally, while writing C++ program, that is object oriented program, we'll use this header file to accept the data, to give the result to the outside world, like get, put, and manipulators like seekg, seekp, tellg, tellp, clear function, open a file, closing a file. To perform all these functions, we use iostream.h header file. So this library function helps us to include all these functions. Next, we'll go for iomanip.h, manipulators, input output manipulators. See, generally If I want to move the cursor after completion of that particular line's information, if I want to move to the next line, I can make use of end else statement. So if I include iomanip.h, I can make use of end else, or I want to set the width, set w function is used, or documentary functions, or flush option like to cancel the buffer content. So to perform all these operations, we have to include iomanip.h header file. If I include this header file, I can make use of all these functions. So next one, mat.h. As I told you students, to perform mathematical function, some operators can be used without including mat.h header file, like arithmetic operator, relational operator, logical operators, bitwise operators, special operators. All these operators can be used without including mat.h header file, because the that compiler itself will provide you an opportunity to perform all those operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, that is arithmetical operations, and or not logical operators, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, those type of relational operations, and some other operators. Without the mathematical header file, I can perform all those operators individually while running a program. Apart from that, suppose if I want to perform the operations other than the operators what we did there, then we need mat.h header file. Suppose if I include mat.h header file, I can perform the operations like, as I told you, sqrt to find square root. Without including header file, we cannot perform this square root function. We have to include the header file. If we include the header file, instead of writing subprogram, straight away I can make use of square root function. sqrt within brackets, within small brackets, I can give a value or any expression. Either a constant or a variable or expression, I can make use of that. From that calling function, control will shift it to the subprogram. There it performs the operations and generates the output and return back to the calling function. Like that, suppose if I want to find power value, I can make use of POW function. Suppose if I want to find logarithmic function values, I can make use of log function. Exponentiation value, EXP. Trigonometric functions like sine, cosine, tangent value, cos h. So like this, additional mathematical functions apart from whatever the operators we learned now. So apart from that, I can make use of all these functions. The header file which is required for this is mat.h. Ash include at preprocessor directive mat.h. Ash include mat.h. We have to include that. With the help of that header file, I can make use of all these mathematical functions. Next, character functions. Dear students, performing operations with numbers is easy because calculations, we have number of operators. With the help of operators, easily we can perform our operations. But with the concept of characters and strings, it is bit difficult compared to numbers. So instead of writing lengthier programs there, we can make use of these built-in functions. Suppose if I include ctype.h header file, whatever the ASCII code values are there, So that characters easily we can do our operations according to our requirements. See, a character is any single character enclosed with single quotes. Some functions accept a character as argument. The argument is processed as an int by using its ASCII code. To use these functions, the header file called c8.h should be included. So let me start with the first one. Is alpha a function? Dear students, wherever we find this open and close brackets, it represents function. So this one is, first one is alpha of. This function returns 1 if it is an alphabet. Whatever the argument you are giving, based on that argument, it will give the return value. If it is an alphabet, it is going to return 1 for you. If it is not an alphabet, it returns 0. That is true or false condition. Boolean operation, either true or false. If it is any letter, any alphabet, so it returns 1. If it is not an alphabet, it returns 0. I have given an example here. Is alpha of letter H. See, always single character constants are enclosed within single quotes. Here, only one character is there. It is enclosed within single quote. So, a single quote character H, it is going to return 1 for you. If it is a number, see, I have given 9, digit 9. It checks, is it an alphabet? Of course, it is not an alphabet, hence it returns 0. So, it returns non-zero value if the character is a letter, or if an input is a letter. Otherwise, it returns 0. Second one, is digit of. See, this is another concept, like it checks whether the given input is digit or not. Earlier one, that checks whether it is letter or not, but this one checks whether it is digit or not. If it is a digit, it returns 1. If it is not a digit, it returns 0. See this example, is digit of this 9. Is it a digit? Yes, so it returns 1. If it is not a digit, see, is digit of H, it returns 0. If it is a digit, it's going to return 1. If it is not a digit, it is going to give 0. Why? It is a opposite to is alpha. So if it is an alphabet, it returns 1, is alpha. If it is a digit, it returns 1, is digit. Next, the third one, is all num. Here, all num means alphanumeric type of data. If it is an alphabet, it returns 1. If it is a number, then also it returns 1. If it is alphanumeric type of data, it returns 1. Or otherwise, it is going to return 0. If it is a special character, it is going to return as a 0. Just see this example. Is all num of 9. It returns 1. Is all num of exclamatory symbol. It's a special character. It's going to give 0 for you. So, if it is any letter, if it is any digit, then it is going to return 1, or otherwise it is going to return 0. Next, is upper. Dear students, you know that capital letters are called as uppercase characters, small letters are called as lowercase characters. Here, it is going to check whether the given input is in uppercase or not. If it is in uppercase, it's going to return 1. If it is not in uppercase, it's going to give 0. See this example. E is upper of capital letter S. Yes, of course it is uppercase character. It's going to return 1. It also checks the small letter. E is upper of H. H is in small letter. that is lowercase, so it is going to return 0 for you. Then vice versa, opposite to that is lower of. This function checks whether the given input letter is or given input is in lowercase or not. If it is in lowercase, it returns 1. If it is not in lowercase, it's going to give 0. So is lower of s returns 1. So here you have to make change. Capital letter H, it returns going to give 0. Then another function e space off. So this particular function checks whether the given input is space character or not. If it is a space character, it's going to give 1 for you, or otherwise it's going to give 0. It checks whether the given input is space letter or not. /n null value /0 we can give, or just a space character within single quotes, it gives 1, or otherwise it is going to give 0. Next is punct of function. See, this function checks for a punctuation symbol. If you give any punctuation symbol, it is going to give something like returns 1, or otherwise if it is not a punctuation symbol, so it is going to give 0. Is punct of. See this example, is punct of percentage symbol returns 1. If it is a /n, it returns 0. To upper. See, this function converts lowercase character to uppercase character. If it is in uppercase, it don't change, it retains as it is. Suppose if it is in lowercase character, it is going to convert it into uppercase character. See this example, to upper of small letter s, it returns capital letter S. Then next one, to lower of. This function converts uppercase character to lowercase character, from capital letters to small letters. See this example, we have given capital letter S, it returns small letter s. To ASCII, it converts character into its ASCII value. Say for example, to ASCII of Z. So small letter Z is 122. Suppose if you give small letter A, that is 97. Suppose if you give 2 ASCII of capital letter A, it is going to give 65 for you. It returns ASCII value of that particular character. I hope you know what is ASCII. American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So that is what ASCII. It is going to convert letter to its ASCII value. So dear students, so this one, character function, is very important from an examination point of view. Generally, it is asked for 5 marks, like explain any 5 character built-in functions. So most of the time this question is asked in the final examination. Very easy to write. Each one carries 1 mark. So any 5 will fetch you 5 marks. Or either for 2 marks also they can give. So very important from an examination point of view. I am going to repeat it again. To perform this character type functions, you must include ctype.h. So for 1 mark, they can ask you like this. What is the header file for character type functions? Character library functions. ctype.h is the header file which is used to perform character functions. So the different character functions are is_alpha, is_digit, is_all_num, is_upper, is_lower, is_space of, is_punct of, to_upper of, to_lower of, to_ASCII of. You can write any 5 among this list. So first one is alpha of function. This function returns 1 if it is an alphabet. It checks whether it is alphabet or not. The given input is an alphabet, then it returns 1. If it is not alphabet, then it returns 0. Is digit of function. This function returns 1 if it is a digit. If it is not a digit, it's going to 0. It's going to give 0. It is going to return 0. This function check whether the given input is digit or not. If it is a digit, it returns 1. If it is not a digit, it is going to return 0. Is all num. This function check whether the given input is alphabet, number or not. If it is alphanumeric type of data, it returns 1. If it is not alphanumeric type of data, either an alphabet or a number, then it is going to give 0. If it is a special character like any operator, plus, minus, star, anything like that, if you give any input like that, it returns 0. Or if you give any letter or digit, it is going to give 1. So this function check whether the given input is alphanumeric type of data. Is upper of function. This function check whether the given input is in uppercase or not. If it is a capital letter, then it will be treated as uppercase. If it is in uppercase, it is going to return 1 for you. See, I have given example. Then is lower of. This function check whether the given input is in lowercase or not. If it is in lowercase, it returns 1. If it is not in lowercase, then it is going to return 0. Is space of. This function check whether the given input is space character or not. If it is a space character, it is going to return 1. If it is not a space character, it returns 0. Is punct of. This function checks whether the given input is punctuation symbol or not. If it is a punctuation symbol, it returns 1. If it is not a punctuation symbol, it is going to return 0. To upper of function. This function check or converts lowercase character to uppercase character. This function converts lowercase character to uppercase. If it is in uppercase, it retains as it is. If it is in lowercase, then it is going to convert it into uppercase. Then to lower of function. This function converts capital letter to small letter, uppercase character to lowercase character. If it is in lowercase, it returns as it is. Only if it is in uppercase, then it is going to convert it into lowercase. Then to ASCII of function. This function converts the letter or any input into its ASCII equivalent. You know ASCII values are numbers. So to convert any input into its equivalent ASCII value, we will use a function called as toASCII of function. So this is very important from an examination point of view. You can expect either for 1 mark or for 2 marks or for 5 marks too. So dear students, you have to learn this particular concept. Very important from an examination point of view. Definitely one question you can expect for 5 marks. So I'm going to stop at this stage, this particular chapter. Next class, I'm going to continue the same chapter. So this chapter, functions, I'm going to start at this stage.